This is the best news Celtics fans could hear. Jayson Tatum, following the Celtics game last night, spoke up about the MVP race and how he is locked in for this team to win a championship. This team has never been more bought in, knowing that their championship title run is right here and right now. Jayson Tatum isn't worried about the MVP. The team isn't worried about anything. They are just worried about winning, and that is music to my ears, and I believe every Celtics fan out there. Welcome back to Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. In this episode, we're going to be breaking down this Jayson Tatum press conference and also looking at Derrick White as well, speaking up about how the team plays as a whole unit. All of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. Before we dive in on this Boston Celtics content, 78% of you guys are not subscribed, and would greatly appreciate it if you guys hit that big old red subscribe button down below and join the Celtics Digest family. To the thousands of you guys that tune into our channel daily and watch this Celtics content, if you want to make sure you stay up to date on daily Boston Celtics news, hit that subscribe button as you'll get these notifications right away. Let's dive into the news at hand today. Make sure to grab a snack, as this is going to be a jam-packed episode. As we dive in first, looking at the Celtics are ready to compete. And I want to give some shine to one of the most unappreciated guys in the NBA, in Celtic great Derrick White. As we see this is a little bit before we get into the video. I just want to give him some praise, as Derrick White is now your league leader in blocks by a guard. Absolutely fantastic stat from Derrick White, one of the best defensive guards, a guy who put up all-star-like numbers. Even if people from other fan bases want to say he's a role player, he's a guy that's just an average guy, he's not that type of dude. His stats clearly show that he deserved to be an all-star. It's just too sad that there's so much great players in the NBA. We want to keep diving in, talking about Derrick White a little bit more. We can get into this article by Jack Simone here, which talks about Derrick White on the Celtics team philosophy, saying that if someone's got it going, we're going to keep it going to them. And first off, before we dive in this article, I want to shout out Jack Simone. He does fantastic work for the Boston Celtics as well. You can also check out his YouTube channel. He works with the Celtics. How about them Celtics? It's also a great one to get some tad bits of information as well. More deep dives and stuff. If you guys are Celtics fans, definitely check that out. But let's dive into this article, as he talks about Derrick White and the Celtics, having some quotes talking about Derrick White here, saying, what's the fun thing about this team, said Derrick White. Most nights it's JT, JB, and KP. I allow myself and everybody else the freedom to just go and do what we need to do. So having guys like that at the top, just allowing us to be aggressive, it's fun team to play with. Stating that Boston has good players is equivalent to the groundbreaking conclusion that peanut butter goes with jelly. I love that analogy, but kind of going into this game, obviously Derrick White had an impactful game for the Boston Celtics last night, being one of the main contributors for this team. Alongside Jaylen Brown, Kristaps, Porzingis, and JT played awesome, all right as well. But Derrick White was fantastic, and for the ability for him to take over games and just control it, kind of shows how this team is so universally equipped. They have so many different possibilities, so many ways to punish you. You can go KP down low in the post, KB stretching out, Jayson Tatum attacking, Jayson Tatum pulling away from three. Obviously, you're going to go with the JB transition game, the JB attacking the rim, JB mid-range. There's so many different ways that the Celtics can utilize this offense. It's absolutely fantastic. If we want to keep diving in as well, we can look at this one as this quote. I don't think it's a set thing. This is your quarter. You got to go, Derrick White said. I just feel like we're all just playing off of each other. If someone's got it going, we're going to keep going to them. I think JB had it going in the second quarter there, and we just kept going back to him. And that's just the fun thing, is each quarter might be somebody different, and we're all ready to just go and have a lot of fun with it. And that brings me to smiles, because in the last couple of years, we've seen the Celtics struggle with this. We've seen a lot of ISO ball, some of the Celtics wanting to get their points and making sure that they got their 20 or 25. But the Celtics team this year is completely, and I mean completely, a 180 from the Celtics in the past. This team is so unselfish, from Jayson Tatum and JB both saying that they just want to win, to even Kristaps Porzingis saying he doesn't need to be the second or third guy every single night. He just wants to win with this core. Jrue Holiday taking a more defensive impacted role, and even like Derrick White just said, just going to certain guys when they're hot in those quarters. We've noticed with the Boston Celtics in recent times that guys like Jayson Tatum, Marcus Smart, even Jaylen Brown, like I mentioned, wanted to contribute and get their buckets at the end of the game, but we see a complete 180 of that. the Celtics are doing good and they're trying to mount a comeback versus a team, and Derrick White is 3 for 5 from 3, they're going to keep going with Derrick White in that quarter and keep feeding him. It's like they did last night with Jaylen Brown in the second quarter in the article. Like Derrick White mentioned, JB was cooking up in the second quarter. They keep feeding him, going to him, and that's what this team needs to do if they want to excel. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section down below, because as a Celtics fan, I'm ecstatic to see this selfishness go away from this team and this team truly buying into this championship run. And if we want to keep talking about buying into this championship run, let's get into the next topic, which talks about Jayson Tatum being absolutely locked in. This man is dialed to win the NBA championship this year. He's heard all the noise. We've broken down plenty of videos talking about this recently. If you guys have missed them out, we talked about that Bleacher Report article coming out from Jared Weiss a couple days ago, talking about Jayson Tatum saying he needs to win a championship to be the face of the league. Teammates, all these other analysts are saying that Jayson Tatum doesn't deserve to be the MVP. Jayson Tatum isn't that good. All this hate surrounding Jayson Tatum and the Celtics, and Jayson Tatum has some stuff to speak up about it. First, we're going to be looking at that article that Jack Simone posted, talking a little bit more about some Jayson Tatum stuff right here. Talking about Jayson Tatum saying, yeah, I'm human, right? It's a process. Tatum set up the adjustment. I was first team All-NBA the last 2 years, and I averaged 30. Like the human side, yeah, you want to continue, average more every year. You see other guys putting up 30 plus a night. You know you could do that. Part of growing is understanding what we have in this window, trying to maximize and uplift the guys around me. Having talented players only matters when they're willing to put their talent aside. Saying, I know I can score 30 a night, and he did that. But that's not necessarily what the team needs on a nightly basis, Tatum said. So taking the step back in a sense for us to be better. We've done everything but win a championship. So that's the only thing. It's all I'm going to be judged on at this point in my career. So just doing what it takes to help us get to that point. Celtics have a core group of players, each of whom can single-handedly take on a team any given night, but more importantly, they have a group of guys who don't care about doing that. And like I've been preaching throughout this whole video, this is music to my ears, and it brings a smile from one side of my cheek to the other. This is what you want to hear out of your superstar player, your main character guy. These are the words that are coming out of his mouth. You know he wants this championship. After hearing all the buzz, all the rumors, and we'll dive into this as well, we've heard in recent days multiple analysts say that Jayson Tatum isn't that good enough to lead a team to the finals. He isn't good enough to be the face of the league because he has not won an NBA championship. And Jayson Tatum has been picked as this superstar, all-star perennial guy because he teamed up with, guys like Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward, had these big runs when he was 19 and was 20. And like Shannon Sharp said on ESPN, people expected Jayson Tatum to be this rising superstar and have all these expectations like they did with Larry Bird and with Magic Johnson because they excelled so well when they were so young. And Jayson Tatum is still so young. He only is 5-6 years into his career, guys. Like, he still has the prime of his career left to absolutely dominate and torch the NBA. We haven't seen his prime yet. And like he mentioned, there are guys like Jaylen Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, Derrick White, Jrue Holiday. He doesn't need to go out and get 30 every single night to prove the Celtics need to win. He is willing to take a seat back and play the reserve role in nights where he's not doing his best to ensure that the Celtics win, and that makes me ecstatic. We want to keep diving in. These are some tweets from Noah Dalzell from last night. These are also kind of from this Jayson Tatum press conference, but Jayson Tatum on the MVP race saying, I have no problem with these guys being the leaders of the MVP race. I wasn't saying I needed to be first. I just had a problem with some people on the TV saying just the reason I won't win is because of something that happened 2 years ago. Brian Windhorst, I'm so sorry to say, but you were calling out Jayson Tatum on this, saying Jayson Tatum struggled in Game 7. Yeah, it's because he hurt his ankle on the first play of the game. Like, did you not watch? Clearly, some of these analysts just like to talk about the Celtics and just blab about them. The media wants to hate on them. But Jayson Tatum, I understand. There are guys like Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander who are leading their teams, putting up monstrous numbers. And some of those guys on their teams aren't putting up some of these stats like Kristaps Porzingis, Jrue Holiday, Derrick White. So I totally understand and where you could be saying that yes, he doesn't deserve to be the MVP, but he definitely deserves to be in those talks, and we shouldn't be judging how he played 2 years ago, meanwhile, or even last year, comparing it to his MVP. You don't see that with Jokic, you don't see that with Luka, you don't see that with Embiid. It's just seen with Jayson Tatum. We want to keep diving in as well. He also said this about Luke Kornet, saying he's the ultimate teammate, ultimate professional, never knows exactly when his time is going to come by his minutes, but he's always prepared. He might be the funniest guy on our team, and he keeps everybody spirits high. And like I mentioned, that's what you want to hear. We saw Luke Kornet doing the dab last night, having a good time. He is the high-flying guy, and he's part of that stay-ready squad that Xavier Tillman mentioned, and I mentioned in my video earlier today if you guys missed it. Part of that stay-ready squad who is ready to go when the Celtics need them and call on them most. And Luke Kornet has shown us in the starting lineup sometimes, having his best minutes, that he is ready to go. Guys like Al Horford have done that. Oshae Brissett, Lamar Stevens, and Banton were on their team. And now Tillman and Springer are those guys ready to go and part of that stay-ready unit. I'm bought in on this team. I think that this Celtics team is way better than the 2022 NBA Finals team, from the last time they made the finals. And Tatum agrees as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. How well are you guys buying that Jayson Tatum is locked in? Because realistically, I'm ready to go. He's firing me up. He seems, and I watched this press conference. You can find it on Twitter. He seems absolutely dialed in. He wants to win this championship. He wants to prove the media wrong. He wants to prove the fans wrong. He wants to prove all the casuals that he can be a face of the league. He can be a dominant player, and that he is a top 5 player in this league. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like I mentioned, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Celtics Digest. And I'm Bruce Velez. I'll catch you guys in the next one.